Food is a very nostalgic thing for me. It holds a lot of memories. I think that's true for a lot of people. So today's video is something like that for me. Especially, it's weird because lately all over the place recipes for this pop up, which is so strange to me because it's so random. I'm going to try to make brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts. These always remind me of my mom. She is like a night snacker. She would always have these with a glass of milk after dinner. She would always share with me. These are my favorite Pop-Tarts. I might try and sneak over there and surprise her with them, see if she likes that. We'll see. I got this recipe from Half Baked Harvest. I will link it down below in the description. We can get started. I'm gonna start with the filling. So I have some brown sugar in here, some all-purpose flour, some cinnamon. Recipe does not call for it, I don't think, but just a little bit of salt. Some vanilla extract. Oops. Probably not that much. And some melted butter. Give it a mix. These are my absolute favorite Pop-Tarts, and in my opinion, the only Pop-Tarts. But you want to make this into like a really thick, kind of drier paste consistency. Just like that. Now for my dough. My food processor is not big enough to handle this, but the recipe does call for a food processor. I'm just gonna cut the butter in. We're just gonna see what happens. So I have all-purpose flour right here. The recipe does call for a little bit of whole wheat flour, but I didn't have any, so extra all-purpose. Cinnamon and some cold butter that I have cubed up here. I'm gonna go for it with my pastry cutter. This may take me a while, but you just want the butter to be into little baby pea-sized balls, and you want to incorporate the cinnamon fully. I decided to just get in here with my hands. The pastry cutter was not doing it for me, so I'm just gonna get the butter in here, work it in as fast as I can so that my hands don't warm up the butter too much. Just want to get the butter incorporated. So I'm gonna add some cold water here, but I'm gonna add it a couple tablespoons at a time and just bring it together. It smells really good. I am making a complete mess. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of flour on my work surface, dump it out. All right, I think that looks good. See all the little flecks of butter in there too. Oh, this is gonna be good. All right, now for the part in any kind of recipe like this I despise, is they're like, okay, roll it into this thickness and blah, blah, blah. I hate measuring things. So I have my kitchen ruler here with me. I need the visuals. I also need my rolling pin. Where are you? I floured the surface a little more. I really don't want this to stick. I'm gonna try to keep this as square as possible. Okay, I think we're there. I am going to trim this a little bit just to square off some of the edges. I have to cut squares that are 3 by 4. Well, I guess they'd be rectangles. Of course, you do not have to do this. 3 by 4. There's 3. I like to get one of those tools, you know, with it's like an accordion thing, but it has the blades on it. And it's like little rolly cutters. 4 inches. Now I'll make little mini Pop-Tarts with these down here. Pop these on some parchment paper for now, and I also rolled them a little bit thinner because I feel like they were too thick, but they probably are still too thick. Whatever. We're just gonna roll with it. It says that a tablespoon of filling. This is too much. I'm nervous. I'm just gonna flatten it out a little bit, leaving a little bit of a border. I definitely used too much vanilla. All I can smell is vanilla. Because of that, I did put a little bit of extra cinnamon in here just to try to make it a little more cinnamony. A little egg wash around the sides. Pop the top as well as you can. Have to get the crinkled edges. So I have a fork. Just close it up. These are gonna go in the freezer for like 15-20 minutes just to kind of get that butter all nice and hardened again. so that way it doesn't like melt all over the place. We want it to solidify a little more before we pop it into a hot oven. So these can chill for a while, and then we'll be back. I forgot, I'm supposed to poke a couple holes in here. I'm also supposed to cover this, so I guess I wasn't too good at following instructions. Just gonna cover it a bit with some saran wrap. It'll do. Out of the freezer, spread these out a little bit. I don't think they should spread that much. I guess you never know, just leave a little room. These are going into my preheated oven, 15-20 minutes until they get like nice and brown. Just watch them, you know your oven. Just don't burn them. Wish me luck. I think they're done. They look a lot lighter on camera than they do in person. They're pretty brown around the edges and on top, so I think we're good. The dough feels kind of weird. It's making me nervous. It doesn't feel done. Should I put it back in? It feels really soft. Maybe I will put it back in for a few more minutes. Try to get the tops a little more brown. I don't know. We'll see. Let's experiment. Okay, I'm gonna call it. They still look light on camera, but they're pretty toasty in person. I don't know. It's making me nervous. We'll see. I'm gonna transfer them to a wire rack so they can cool a little bit faster, but I want them to be completely cooled by the time I put the icing on. I'm gonna make the glaze, which is just some powdered sugar, which I'm now realizing I probably should have sifted, but it is what it is. I'm gonna add a little bit of cinnamon in here, some vanilla extract, which I'm gonna be careful with this time, and a little bit of water. I really like doing these glazes with the powdered sugar because it's easy to adjust if it's too thin. See, this is why I should have sifted, because now there's just these chunks of powdered sugar everywhere. But if it's too thick, you can just add some more water to thin it out. And if it's too thin, just add some more powdered sugar, and you can just like play with the measurements all you want. But I feel like this is actually a really good consistency. I want it to be thick. It could even be thicker, but I don't want to mess with it, so I'm not going to. And like, they look like little Pop-Tarts. They smell good. Bottom, nice and brown, no soggy bottom. They smell so good. Very buttery, cinnamon. I'm excited. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. Hopefully I don't make too much of a mess, but I put it over a wire rack and some parchment paper. I'm just gonna blob it on and gently guide it. Look at them. My goodness, this is so exciting. I'm gonna let them set up a bit. I must try one. And they're set, look at that. Can touch them. I'm scared. Oh. Excuse me. That filling is so good. And the pastry is done. I was very worried. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And it's buttery. Ooh, that's good. This is such a fun thing to do on like a weekend morning. If you have guests around, these are so good. You have to try. I'm sure you will love them. Enjoy. I'm gonna take a couple of these over to my parents' house. I'm gonna try to get their reaction secretly. Secret diner here. Let's go and see if we can surprise them. Hello? Hello? I don't know if it was a surprise. I have a surprise.
What'd you do? Make something?
I made something. It's a goodie for you guys.
Put it down, baby. Put it down.
What is it?
I don't know. You made Pop-Tarts?
Yes.
Mmm.
They're the brown
Sugar cinnamon? Mmm.
Are you excited?
I am very excited. I'm just gonna have a little bite. I just so happen to be done with that. Look at these, babe. Homemade Pop-Tarts. Oh, those are delicious.
Right? Doesn't the filling like...
It's buttery.
Isn't it buttery? I would say that my mother liked the Pop-Tarts, as you can hear. She did not know that I was filming, but they were very good.